Hi everyone, I am Suraj and welcome back to God's Guiding Voice. Are you feeling stuck or facing some obstacles that seems like impossible to overcome? So don't worry about this because we are going to offer a powerful prayer together for a God that clears your path. So stay with me until end because your breakthrough might be just a one prayer away.
There is someone in your life right now who God needs to remove. You already know who it is. Their name just came to your mind the moment I said that. And for months, maybe years, you have been holding on, making excuses, hoping it gets better, telling yourself that maybe you are the problem, that if you pray harder, love better, give more, they will change. But deep in the part of you that doesn't lie, you know that this person is costing you your peace, your faith, your future. God does not remove people from your life to hurt you. He removes them to protect you from a version of yourself that would have slowly disappeared trying to hold onto someone he never intended to stay. Today, I am going to show you how to pray the most difficult and the most liberating prayer a believer can pray. God, remove whoever does not belong in my next chapter. And I am going to show you what happens in your spirit when you finally have the courage to pray it. Stay with me. This message was made for exactly where you are right now. Drop in the comments, God, I trust you to remove whoever doesn't belong in my next chapter. Let me tell you what nobody else is saying to you right now. The loneliness you feel when God removes someone is real. It is not weakness. It is not lack of faith. It is the legitimate grief of losing a presence, even when that presence was hurting you. You might be grieving a friendship that slowly poisoned your confidence, a romantic relationship that made you smaller every year, a family member whose words left wounds that nobody else can see. And you have prayed, you have forgiven, you have tried to be the bigger person. But maybe the most faithful prayer you can pray is not God, fix them, but God, if this person is not part of where you are taking me, give me the strength to release them. That prayer takes more courage than almost anything else in the Christian life, because it means trusting God's plan more than your own comfort, trusting His vision of your future more than your fear of being alone. God is not removing people from your life because He wants you lonely. He is removing them because He wants you free. There is a moment in the life of Abraham that changed the entire course of human history, and it started with God asking him to release someone he loved. Abraham and his nephew Lot had been traveling together, but their herds had grown so large that the land could not sustain both of them. Conflict was rising between their people. And God told Abraham separate, release, let Lot go his own way. Abraham obeyed. He let Lot choose first. He released the relationship without bitterness, without control, without trying to manipulate the outcome. And the moment Lot left, God spoke. Genesis 13:14 says, the Lord said to Abraham after Lot had parted from him, look around from where you are to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you. After Lot had parted from him, after the release, after the letting go, the blessing was waiting on the other side of the separation. It always is. God removes people to expand your vision, and here is how to pray through it. Part 1. The prayer of honest surrender. Before you can pray for God to remove someone, you have to be honest with yourself and with Him about what you actually feel. Not the sanitized version, not the spiritual-sounding version, the real version. God, I am hurt. I am angry. I am confused. I held on because I was afraid of being alone. I held on because I didn't believe you could fill this space. I held on because releasing them felt like losing. That honesty is not a lack of faith. It is the beginning of real prayer. God already knows what is in your heart. Speaking it out loud is not for His information. It is for your release. David did this in the Psalms constantly. He poured out his raw, unfiltered pain before God before he could receive God's answer. The Psalms are not a devotional. They are a record of a man processing his deepest wounds before God. Give God the real version of how you feel. He can handle it. That is where real prayer begins. Drop in the comments, God, I am giving you the real version, not the edited one. Part 2. The prayer of releasing control. The hardest word in this prayer is not remove. The hardest word is yours. God, this person is yours, not mine. I release my grip on the outcome. I release my need to control whether they stay or go. I release my timeline and my plan and my idea of what this relationship was supposed to become. Most believers pray for God to remove someone, but they keep their hand on the situation. They keep the door slightly open. They keep monitoring, checking, hoping, second-guessing. Real release means closing the door from your side and trusting God with what happens on the other side of it. This is not coldness. This is not cruelty. This is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them. Because people God needs to remove from your life, He often needs to work on separately. Your continued presence sometimes delays what He is trying to do in them too. Release is not rejection, it is obedience. Part 3. The prayer of protection. Pray a covering over the person you are releasing. This is what separates a godly release from a bitter one. You are not releasing them to destruction. You are releasing them to God. God, cover them, protect them, lead them to where they need to go, heal what needs to be healed in them, guide them to the people and the places you have for their life. Praying blessing over someone you are releasing from your life is one of the most supernaturally powerful things a believer can do. It breaks every spiritual chain that bitterness would have kept in place. It is impossible to stay bitter about someone you are actively praying blessing over. The prayer itself begins to heal you. Drop in the comments, I release them to you, God, bless them on their own path. Part 4. The prayer of trust for what comes next. After every release, pray forward. God, I trust you with the space that is left. I trust you to fill it with the right people, the right community, the right relationships that are aligned with where you are taking me. God's timing is not a delay, it is a promise. The empty space after God removes someone is not a wound to be filled immediately. It is a sacred space, a preparation space, a space where God does some of His most important work in you, building the version of you that is ready for what He sends next. Don't rush to fill it, sit in it, pray in it. Let God speak into it. The next person He sends into your life, you will know them by the peace they carry when they arrive, because you will finally have enough peace in yourself to recognize it. Part 5. The prayer of identity after loss. Many people stay in relationships that damage them because their identity has become entangled with the other person's presence. When they leave, who am I without them? What does my life look like? Who am I when I am not defined by this relationship? Pray this: God, remind me of who you say I am, not who they said I was, not the version of me that shrunk to fit this relationship. The full version, the called version, the version you designed before anyone else had an opinion. Galatians 1:10 asks, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? You were not made to be defined by the people who couldn't stay. You were made to be defined by the God who chose you before the world began. Drop in the comments, I am who God says I am, not who they said I was. Part 6. The prayer of forgiveness as final release. This is the last part of the prayer, and it is the one that completes the release. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was acceptable. It is saying, I will not carry this into my future. I will not give them permanent residence in my peace. I will not let what they did become the defining story of the rest of my life. Jesus forgave from the cross, while the pain was still happening, while the wound was still open, not because what was being done to him was acceptable, but because the weight of unforgiveness was heavier than any cross. Pray it simply: God, I forgive them. I release the debt. I choose my future over my wounds. You may have to pray that prayer 100 times before it stops hurting. That is not failure. That is faithfulness. Pray it every time the wound reopens, until one day you pray it and realize the wound is gone. Here is what I need you to understand before you close this video. Every person God has removed from your life, He has replaced with something better, every time, without exception. You may not see the replacement yet. You may be in the in-between, the space after the ending and before the beginning. But God's record is perfect. He has never left a life empty after making a removal. He fills, He restores, He rebuilds. You were never too broken for God. The version of you that is grieving right now, that is not the final version. That is the version being prepared, being strengthened, being made ready for a chapter that the person you are releasing could not come with you into. This is your moment of surrender, and it is your greatest strength. Surrender the name that is in your heart right now. Say it to God, not to your friends, not to social media, to God. Give Him the name. Give Him the situation. Give Him the outcome. God did not bring you this far to abandon you now. He removed them because He is building something, and you are the most important part of what He is building. Drop in the comments, God, I give you the name on my heart. Do what only you can do. If this prayer reached a name that has been heavy on your heart, you did not find this video by accident. God led you here. He knew you needed to hear this today. He knew you needed permission to pray the prayer you have been afraid to pray. You have permission. Go pray it right now, after this video ends, before you do anything else. And if you want to be part of a community that prays honestly, deeply, and without pretending, subscribe to God's guiding voice. Every day there is a message here for someone who needs it exactly when it arrives. One question before you go. Has God ever removed someone from your life and later revealed exactly why and what He built in the space they left behind? Share it in the comments. Your testimony of His faithfulness is the most powerful thing in this comment section. God bless you. The name on your heart, He already knows it, and He is already working.